Hi dolls, welcome back to Michawn's DIY journey and thanks so much for spending part of your day with me. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you a thrift store find makeover and I'm super excited about it. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe and hit that bell so you get those notifications. Alright dolls, let's get started. So first up, I'm going to be using this large bag of floral moss that I picked up from Walmart. Then I'm going to put hot glue all over the window. I'm starting with the middle window because although the bag looks really large, it actually wasn't as much as I thought because I really wanted to cover the entire window, like all of the glass panes, but I didn't have enough. So I intentionally started with the middle one because I just wasn't sure. So all I'm doing is going to put hot glue all over and then going to pack in that floral moss to cover the entire glass pane. As I was doing this and got to the second glass pane, I realized there definitely wasn't enough to do all 6. So I just decided to do the bottom 3 and this is how it came out. And I love the way it looks even just like this. But of course I need more, so I'm going to add this wire basket and I'm going to use it kind of like chicken wire. So I'm cutting the basket up and what I do first is cut it down the middle, because I don't have any like wire cutters that cut this. Even though the scissors worked just fine, I couldn't, cut the bottom and the top by itself. So I had to go with the thinner parts of the basket to cut first. Then I decided to go ahead and cut down or cut off the opening at the top and then the bottom part of the basket where those 2 circular parts are. So after I have both of those pieces cut off, I have now a nice semi-flat piece of what I'm now calling chicken wire, because that's what it looks like and that's what I was going for. And I am going to place that on the other 3 glass panes that I have on this window. But first what I'm going to do is measure it out to make sure that it fits on each glass, because the basket is circular. It's not even all the way. So I had to play with it a little bit, and I played with these 3 panes like so much trying to figure out what to do. But what I'm doing here first is going to measure it out and kind of just bending the basket the way that I need it in the shape so it can fit in the glass window pane. And all I'm going to do is just cut that down, and this one basket was actually enough for all 3 of those window panes. After I have that chicken wire cut to size, I am then going to place it in there. Now, I did a lot of trial and error, but I'm not going to show you guys because that's a bit much. But I hot glued it on at first, and then I tried, Mod Podging it. I don't know why I did that, but I thought the hot glue was actually going to work, but it didn't at all. So what I ended up doing was flipping it over because I realized it was curved. And so what I did was started to pull it a little bit and then place it inside of the window glass pane, because it was a little bit bigger than the actual perimeter of that part of the window. So I just kind of shoved it in there, kind of like just squished it in there a little bit, and it stayed. And I did that for all 3 of those. And then here what I'm showing you is you can actually pull it to make it a little bit more wide and make the circles a little bit thicker, and it makes it a lot easier to put it inside of that window, which is what I wish I did on the second one. I kind of did it on the first one, but I don't know where my mind was on the second one I did, but the third one was the easiest to do. And then this is how it turned out, and I absolutely love it even just like this. But of course I needed more, so I'm taking this floral wreath and this burlap ribbon. Dollar Tree had some lighter colored burlap ribbon, so I really like it. I don't know if you can tell the difference, but they do have darker and lighter colors, and I really like this one. And so all I'm doing is just hot gluing that onto this floral wreath. And if you've seen any of my other videos where I've made this before, I love the base of this kind of wreath, and I have a few of them in my house. And you just need to wrap it all the way around, making sure you're pulling it because it gets loose on the end every time you pull it over. So you just have to keep pulling it to make sure it stays. And then I used 2 burlap spools. So all you have to do is just hot glue it on top of the other one, so it comes out in a cohesive shape, and it looks like it's just one burlap spool, but I used 1.5. Then you cut it at the end, and then you just hot glue that end piece down, and then cut off any extra burlap that is hanging off, or like any frayed ribbon or wire or whatever that's coming out. And then that's what you have for that. Like I said, that's always a nice base of a wreath for you to make. So of course I'm adding more, which is this lace ribbon that I picked up from the Dollar Tree. Just adding a little bit of hot glue on there to stick it on there. And then I'm going to just wrap it around, but I'm not doing tight wraps. I'm just kind of doing spaces in between. So I'm kind of making it the space in between each of the rows when I wrap it around, like kind of like 1.5 fingers, I guess, or 1 finger. So yeah, it kind of got a little more spacious as I went on because I started to like that look a little bit more. But yeah, about 2 fingers, 1.5 to 2 fingers of space in between. And then once you have that complete, then you're just going to cut that off and then glue that down. And there you have that completed wrapped burlap and lace wreath. And then to put it on the window, I'm just hot gluing it on the sides that I know that the wreath will touch, and then just putting a little pressure on it and gluing that down. And then I added some clothespins on there because I love adding pictures to a lot of my projects. You can put any kind of pictures on there. You don't have to put the clothespin on there because it looks even great without it. So, alright dolls, that's all I have for you today. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, make sure you give me a big thumbs up. And if you're new here, make sure you subscribe and hit that bell so you don't miss an upload. I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye!